Welcome back, watch fans. We're going to be talking about dial color. How do you choose the perfect dial color and metal combination so that you get the most bang for the buck when you're buying that Rolex watch, right? You know, dial color makes a huge difference in terms of your enjoyment, the versatility. How often are you going to wear the watch? And ultimately, if you want to sell it, value retention or investment upside potential. The dial color makes a world of difference for Rolex. I mean, the dial color, the material, it's the difference between a watch that could sell for, on a date, it's the difference between a $8,000 date and a $50,000 date. That's right. This watch, if this was, Tiger Eye or Malachite instead of this blue, this could be a, I don't know, a 30,000 plus $40,000 Rolex instead of a $10,000 Rolex, right? So huge difference. Same thing with chronograph, etc., etc. So we're going to go through all of that in this video. This is the most important video you will ever watch in your life. On the wrist, we got the King Tut. That's right, the Rolex Submariner Blues. And again, there's a lot that you need to consider. This is not, listen, this is not as simple as just you just buy any Rolex, because sometimes you're going to make a bad decision that you're going to regret. That's right. You don't want to buy a watch that you're going to regret because, look, it gets expensive. These watches, they don't always go up in value, right? Sometimes you buy a watch, you want to resell it, you might take a hit if you buy the wrong one, right? So, again, we're going to be talking about how do you get the most bang for the buck. Okay, what do you need to consider? Okay, in my book, it all matters. Basically, main consideration is how are you going to wear the watch. I don't know. Maybe you're a slob. You wear cargo shorts, flip flops with your dirty feet, and a urine stained T-shirt. Or on the other side of a spectrum, you might be wearing a bespoke Savile Row suit every day. I don't know, somewhere in the middle of that spectrum, perhaps. Right. So, I would say my personal choice is I like the two tone because it's versatile. You can dress it up, and it also looks good casually. Right now, dial color. Personally, I like a dial that has that plays with light. Actually, it's not a personal choice. Everybody really likes it. Maybe they just haven't articulated it. But really, what we're looking for is a dial that changes every time you look at it. You're going to see something different. Right? You're going to get a lot of bang for the buck. Now, let's take a look at this. Right here is the yacht master, and see, I don't know if we can see this, but you're going to get variations of color, variations. You see the sunburst. So you want a sunburst dial. You want the sunburst dial. You don't want a flat dial. Flat dials are boring. You want vibrant colors. Okay. Again, brown, chocolate, bronze, whatever you want to call it. It's not the most vibrant color, some people might say, but it has gold tones to it, so it has a richness to it. It has a certain gravitas to it. Look up that word on Google if you don't know what that means. Okay, so some of you tomato cans may not know what gravitas means, but there we go. So it's got, and again, the combination, the white, the rose gold, the bronze, it really works on this watch. They also make this in gray, or rhodium as they call it, which is a fancy word for gray, and that watch is, in my opinion, a mistake. Gray is a bad color for Rolex or for any watch. Now, we got a Meteorite. That's we're going to talk about that in a second. But you don't want a flat, you don't want a gray color because it's kind of boring. You don't want white, which is boring. You don't want black, which is boring, unless you have, I don't know, gold or something to it. And white could be good on certain dials. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, that tapisserie dial, it's got that white metallic silver, whatever they call it. It looks amazing. Rolex doesn't have a good white. Blue is the classic color. Again, blue and gold. Blue and gold. Again, look at the sunburst. You seeing the sunburst effect here? You get the sunburst action. Again, you're getting a lot of value for your money because you wear a watch like this, it's going to look different every day. Every time you look at it in different lighting conditions, it's going to look different. That's how you get bang for the buck. Here we have a chronograph. Again, this is a champagne dial. Very, very common in the vintage pieces. By the way, I would not buy a champagne dial on a new watch. If you bought a new Rolex, do not get the champagne dial. This only should be for vintage pieces. This is a superb condition piece. And again, the dial color, the metal, it makes a big difference. Gold, steel, blue, gold and blue is a nice color. Now, if you got this in a champagne, these come in champagne dials. That's like a dog, like the Surdy with the gemstones on it. Those are kind of dogs. I know they're kind of trending right now, but those are really dogs with fleas. Now, the king of dials is Meteorite. Now, I've been trying to get a Meteorite Rolex, the date 40 Meteorite with the baguettes. To me, that's the ultimate watch. Sadly, I've not been able to get one. They've been trading above retail. And last year, I wanted to get a watch celebrating a big milestone, and I couldn't get the Meteorite. They were too expensive. Somehow, I stumbled into Jacques Droz, which is a very interesting brand. I've done a video, I think, on this somewhere else. Now, these guys are going through transition. They're actually going to be doing bespoke watches, so it's a very unique, actually, I believe, a unique investment opportunity in Jacques Droz. But this is a Meteorite dial. I was jonesing for that Meteorite dial. I couldn't get the Rolex. Otherwise, I would not have bought this watch. This would not have been. I mean, this brand was on my radar, but I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. And Meteorite on Rolex is the ultimate. Meteorite is the ultimate. Now, don't make the mistake. You do not want the 36 millimeter Meteorite because it has got the little baby diamonds on it. You want the baguette diamonds. Or if you're getting the GMT, the Meteorite, the Pepsi, whatever Meteorite dial, amazing. You're getting the Sky Dweller, amazing. On a Daytona, not so much. I know it's got a prestige factor, but the problem with Meteorite is you want to see the dial. If you're getting a Meteorite dial, you want to see as much of that Meteorite as possible, because the watch is from space, right? This is from space. It's from space. It came from, I don't know, millions of miles away, right? It's a piece of metal from space. And you want to appreciate the different cuts. Now, if you notice this, you got two different Meteorites in here, two different specimens. And this plays with the light. That's what's amazing about the watch. Now, the problem with the watch is it's hard to read the dial. Some of these numbers are very, very small. You need like a magnifying glass. So that is, I believe, a mistake made by these guys, but whatever. Again, these are actually limited pieces, 28 of 88. Very auspicious number. Any of you Chinese people watching this, the watch could be for sale. That's right, at the right price. It could be available. Very, very auspicious number, 28 of 88. Now, any of these watches, I think you can. If you choose any of these colors, I'm giving you a selection, a wide selection of the Rolex, range. There's, conscious decision, right? Again, you don't see any white, you don't see any black. Those are boring colors. This actually came with a Roman black dial with gold Roman numerals originally. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This watch went through two different dials. Originally, it had a champagne dial when I bought it. And I told the guy, look, I want the black dial with gold Roman numerals. And you know what? I think Suge Knight, that's right, Suge Knight copied my idea, as did Marc Jacobs, the fashion designer. And they went with that dial. And then I saw this blue dial. Yes, this is a factory dial, and I swapped it out. And that's the thing with Rolex. You can actually do that. You can actually swap out dials on some of the more popular models, like Datejust, the Datejust, all that stuff. Dates, not the Yachtmaster. This only comes with really two dials. Obviously, you got to make sure that the dial color, the stuff around, the indexes match the hands and all that stuff if you're going to do that. But what is the dial? What is the dial which is the most versatile? Look, it's a personal choice. It really is a personal choice. But in my book, you want something that's going to play with the light, It's going to always change depending on the light because it's going to give you a different experience. So it's going to give you like an experience of wearing a different watch every day. You can't go wrong with blue. And again, if you put on a strap, also think about it. You might want to put these things on a strap instead of the bracelet. Now this, you really can't do that. The only time you can actually do a strap on a Rolex is, more on the 36 millimeter vintage pieces, maybe on the vintage kind of Submariners if they're kind of beaten up. You can't really do it on a watch. Yeah, I tried doing it on this with the rubber B strap, the white one. I don't know. I didn't. It doesn't really work because of the clasp. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can only do it with the older 36 millimeter models, which I think is great. So that, my friends, is the tutorial on dial color. And again, if you buy the wrong one, if you buy a champagne date, that's kind of, that's an old busted look. It's an old busted look. The linen champagne dial, on the other hand, is interesting. You don't want a champagne dial on a 36 millimeter date. It's because it's just too common. It's boring. On this, it's interesting because it's a turnograph, okay? It's the original dial. It's mint condition. The indexes are beautiful. And you have it on a suede strap, so you have a contrast. You have this luxury, this kind of, very, I don't know, you have a contrast, right? The suede, or whatever you call this, nubuck suede versus gold. It's an interesting contrast. This actually, I think maybe this is the wrong color strap. Maybe this crocodile. This might be the wrong color strap. I think maybe I have to change the strap. When I got it, it actually looked interesting, but maybe it's time to change it. This is rose gold. So rose gold or red gold, I think they call it. Also rose gold, and yellow gold with steel. So yeah, I would say that you wanna put some serious thought into it. Don't get dog dials. Like again, if the Sky Dwellers in white, those are dogs. In black, those are dogs. Unless it's a two-tone, maybe you can do a black dial. Now the Daytona is interesting because the Daytona dials, they got sub-dials, which could be different colors, right? We're getting into a whole deeper conversation. Now that's an advanced conversation for, that's a whole nother story, because again, the Daytona makes things complicated because of their sub-dials. So you could have like 3 different levels, right? You can have what they call the Pikachu dial. You can have all sorts of stuff going on. But again, the one thing I would avoid is Meteorite on the Daytona, because I think you're not getting your money's worth of the Meteorite on the Daytona. I mean, I know it's kind of rare or whatever, but I don't think you're going to get the credit that it deserves. Meteorite, again, if you're going to go with Meteorite, you want as much Meteorite as possible to be unobstructed. You don't want it obstructed by a bunch of sub-dials, little sub-dials like they have on the Daytona. The GMT, is okay with Meteorite. What else do they have Meteorite with? They have Meteorite on the Sky Dweller. On the Sky Dweller, it's interesting. It's an interesting look. I think with the Sky Dweller, the dial you want really is the blue dial or the mint green. By the way, mint green, I wish I had a mint green dial. We don't have that here. The green dial. Now, Rolex, green is the official color of Rolex. I actually have a green dial Rolex on my list. That is the one watch I want to get next. And again, I'm not a Rolex guy. I'm really not. I'm a little heavy. I'm a little bit heavy in the Rolex in the collection. It's not by choice. Look, the problem with the Rolex is, it's, as much as I love AP and Patek, the Rolex, they just keep coming back to it. They're just so easy to deal with, so versatile. But yeah, the green dial is the one you want to get. And again, I want the Sunburst one, not the flat green. They have these crayon green Rolex dials, or flat blue. You don't want the flat colors unless it's like one of those what do you call it? What was the stuff from the '70s? I forgot what it was called. They had one that was from coral. They had what the hell did they call those day dials from in the '70s or '80s? It'll come to me. Anyway, those are kind of interesting. I think they're a little bit overpriced. They're kind of overpriced, but again, the color really makes a huge world of difference. In day date, you have a whole spectrum. I don't know how many hundred. There's got to be hundreds of variations when you get into the day date because of stones. They had different stones. That coral. I don't know. This coral stone, maybe, maybe not. They had wood dials, mahogany or something like that. I would be careful about the wood dials because I'm a little bit paranoid that wood might, react. I don't know, to sunlight, maybe some moisture can get in, it can get ruined. I don't know, but I don't trust wood. I'm not that crazy about it. Also, I think it's a little bit hokey. It's kind of like that '70s wood paneling in the basement, or in a van. I don't think it's the right look. I think those are a little bit kind of. I think that's just some hype stuff going on. People, look, collectors, Rolex collectors. A lot of these people have more money than they know what to do with, and they get into these little fads, like and then those things fade away. But you want to go with classics. So, if you can get a malachite dial, tiger eye. Tiger eye is an amazing, amazing stone. Coral, amazing. It's like a bright pink. And again, if you're gonna go with coral, you want to get like a vibrant coral, not like a bland one. You want to get like a rich pink coral. Dark coral, I think, is the color. That is so yeah. So this is look. This is an advanced topic. We can spend years discussing this. You could even write a PhD thesis on this. So look, when I applied for the president of Harvard position, I'm going to make sure to have a PhD paper on Rolex dial color. I think that'll get me the job over there. Apparently, they have relatively low standards, and that is actually would be an original thesis paper, right? This is not plagiarism. All right. Anyway, let me know what you tomato cans, you punters, think of this. Leave your vicious and nasty comments below. And by the way, if you want a collection review at no charge for a limited time only, though, send in your email to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com, brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com, and we're gonna give a review of your collection. It'll be posted here on the channel. But please, no shitter watches, no Hublots, no Omegas, none of that garbage. Only Patek, AP, good stuff, Rolex maybe, maybe some independent brands. I'm open to independent brands. Again, see. The dial color will change. It'll react to the light. And again, this is kind of early kind of, mid-morning, so to speak, indirect light. So, just to give you an idea of what you can expect. All right. See you in the next one.